The Two Koreas, Freedom versus Fear. For thousands of years, the Asian nation of Korea was one country, but today it is divided into two separate and very different places, North Korea and South Korea. South Korea is a booming modern democracy. That means people there can vote to elect their leaders. South Koreans live a lot like you do. They go to school and study math, science, English, and social studies. They go online and search the internet. And they love pop music, especially the latest boy bands and girl groups. Life in North Korea could not be more different. North Korea is an isolated society ruled by a dictator, a person with unlimited power who controls his people. His name is Kim Jong-un. And North Koreans are taught to worship him. They also worship his father and grandfather, who ruled the country before him. Most North Koreans are very poor. They go to school, but they are not allowed to use the internet. They do not have electricity all the time. When they do, they can watch television, but only one of the shows the government lets them watch. The government even controls where people live and what jobs they have. How did North and South Korea become such opposites? Korea is located on a strip of land called a peninsula, right between China and Japan. Beginning in 1910, Korea was occupied or taken over by Japan. Japan ruled the country for decades, until the end of World War II. In 1945, at the end of the war, one nation split into two, the North and the South. That lasted until 1950, when North Korea invaded South Korea and started the Korean War. Many countries, including the United States, helped South Korea fight off this invasion. The war ended in 1953, when North and South Korea decided to call a truce and stop fighting. The two countries agreed to create a 2-mile-wide boundary between them. Soldiers from both sides still guard those borders today. In the decades since that truce, South Korea has thrived. But the people of North Korea have struggled to survive. In the 1990s, more than 2 million people there died from hunger. Today, there are still food shortages, and North Koreans remain extremely poor. They have little freedom and barely any knowledge of the outside world. And they are not allowed to leave the country without permission, which is nearly impossible to get. It's not clear if things will change anytime soon. North Korea's leaders keep their people in and everyone else out. They rarely cooperate with other countries. And they have developed nuclear weapons, which Kim Jong-un threatens to use. This has left the tiny nation of North Korea and its people even more isolated than ever.